industry and join Mr. Guru Dutt for a few years, a couple of years, and then I'll become a director. You know, when you are 18 years old, things are very simple and easy. So that is what I have decided, but so very unfortunate that I came to Bombay on 64, 4th of October, and he passed away on the 10th of October. So I could never even see him. But that's how it is. I have been very fortunate otherwise. There are so many writers, so many directors, so many actors whom I have admired in my college days. And then I got opportunity to spend hours and days with them. But Guru Dutt is one exception that I could not beat. And I really had thought that when I go, somehow I'll manage. Because Sahib Sahib was a very good friend of Guru Dutt and he had written songs for Pyaasa. So I thought this connection will work and I'll assist him for a while. But it did not happen. I was highly impressed by Guru Dutt in my college days. Forgive me for my modesty, which will come in my conversation again and again. When I was 17, 18, I used to refuse to see films of certain superstars because I believe that they are handsome bad actors. And it means I had some choice. And Guru Dutt had made a deep impression on me in my teenage also. Because I think he was the first person. We had great directors like Mehru, like Bimal Roy, like other directors before them also, in new theatre. But Guru Dutt was the first person who spoke through visuals. So that is the first thing. The other people were good directors, took good performances, shot at the right location, create the right ambience in the picture and so on, and well-written films. But talking through the visual was taught to us by Guru Dutt.
You know, the trappings of being a poet. आज के ज़माने में, I'm going to contextualize it. I don't know if you're brave enough to have a lead character be the poet and then have all of these inner workings of his mind actually play out on the big screen. What was that for you like, and did that poet ever influence you for your poetry?
Well, that poet was Sahib, the lost songs, and they were a very important part of the film. But let me go back a little what we were talking about. You know what happens? That there are certain things which are not done in art on conscious level, and they should not be done. Good art doesn't happen only on conscious level. It is an exercise in paradox. You see, any art, whether it is filmmaking, whether it's poetry, whether music, whether writing a short story, novel, whatever, or a symphony. On one hand, you need passion, imagination, fantasy, romance. On the other hand, you need something which is totally contrary, which moves exactly in the opposite direction. That is craft, which is calculated, which is mathematical, which is surgical. And you use both the things together. It's a paradox. Art is created in this paradox. So many times things happen. Things are written, poems are written, novels are written, films are made. And then when people see that, they say, he empowered women. He had a soft corner for the poor people. You see, he was broad-minded enough to stand up for people who have different sexual inclinations and blah, blah. But the fact is that the filmmaker had not made this on the conscious level. It is deep somewhere in his subconscious, his sense of morality, his sense of aesthetics, his sense of decency, his sense of justice, which works. If you do it on conscious level, it will be propaganda. You will know that this is a theory, not the feeling. This is calculated. You are making a statement. Art should not make a statement. The reader or the listener should find the statement. Nice. Artist should not do it. Artist should do what he feels or she feels is right. And this work is created not on conscious level totally. Like countries, there is a no man's land between the conscious mind and subconscious mind. Ultimately, good art is created of that no man's land. When he was making film, he was not conscious, not sure, and he shows that now I am empowering this character. No, she should have dignity. No, it was coming naturally because that was his aesthetic, that was his sense of decency, that was his sense of morality. Unconsciously. We have experienced this in our limited, humble career. That people say, you know, that angry young man was the voice of the country. We had no idea. We had no idea that this angry young man that we are writing in early 70s had anything to do with emergency or people's lack of confidence in institutions, and that is why this vigilante is appearing in a script. No, we were just writing a script. And I'm happy that we did not know. And I hope that Guru Dutt also did not know many things which we see in his films. Because if you know, then you are looking at the society and the audience from outside. If you don't know and you are breathing the same air, your aesthetics, your feeling is in sync with the society in which you are living. And that is better. That is advisable. That if we know, then we are relying more on a craft. We don't know our fantasies. And that is how it ought to be. Another thing I would like to say, you see nowadays, we go to New Zealand, we go to Swaziland, we go to Switzerland for good locations, good sets, good costumes. Guru Dutt was not dependent on that. The beauty in his case lied his own eyes. I'll give you an example. Now look at this theatre. It's not a very cinematic place. I mean, if you want to picturize a song which is 6-7 minutes long, this is the last place you should shoot that song. But Guru Dutt saw not visual in this. What it is. ये दुनिया अगर मिल जाए तो क्या है? It's a long song with almost similar stanzas after stanzas and after stanzas. And it's shot in an auditorium. From there, he's standing crucified at the door. And then he enters. And the breaks are not in the set, but in the lighting. How he could shoot a song which we'll never forget on a bed. न जाओ सैया छुपा छुड़ा के भैया 90% song was on the bed, and ultimately Meena Kumari was grateful enough to get off the bed. That's all. That's all. And it is the finest picturized song. So we lack somewhere inside. We try to find outside. Guru Dutt was not dependent on locations ever. Guru Dutt's visual, his frame used to make the picture. Name any other director, even today, who can do that. He has taught us so much that we will take generations to learn that. There is no doubt about it. I mean, his songs, ये दुनिया अगर मिट जाए तो जिन्हें नाज है हिंद पर होगा. They are not great melodies. They are straight songs. And each of these songs had at least 6 or 7 stanzas. Can you imagine holding a song with a kind of monotony in the key, if I may say so? Perhaps I am not finding the better word because of my modest English, but the fact is that it is not a great musical item. How it is holding? It is holding because the director is feeling the song. He is making the song a part of your conscience. I have not seen many people doing that. He was really unusual. He was still, we are talking about, I mean, I'm feeling like some kind of a old historical relic here because, I mean, somebody tells me that he discovered Dilip Kumar because of me. And then I got to put on
I discovered because it's not alive.
But now you have discovered Guru Dutt, you have discovered Dilip Kumar, you must go to USA also.
Where must I go?
USA, I mean, they discovered that also. So, the fact is that the technology has reached from somewhere to somewhere. No need to go into detail. Technique, technical facilities, special effects, and at the same time we are miles and miles behind it. When will we reach somewhere there? I don't know.
Many things cross my mind besides that. To me, actually, Guru Dutt, we live in an era where resilience is more celebrated than sensitivity. I always find we talk of the resilient and not the sensitive, and the gap between the two, with a bit of human effort, is a lot of luck. Sensitivity can become resilience with a little bit of luck. But sensitivity, if not supported by that luck, goes down a hell of a lot. And as artists, as the most sensitive artists, it is very surprising how the most sensitive, all of us have gone through that stuff, we pick that out. We love to celebrate a person who's fallen and come up. We never love to celebrate a person who's fallen and the sensitivity behind that fall. And Guru Dutt to me is an epitome of sensitivity. I don't want to talk about his film because I'm not qualified to talk about the craft of any other person in the world because I just made a film, Killing Critics, so I can't be one. But the fact of the matter is, to me as an artist, he inspires me to be actually, to just remember that sensitivity. It's very important sometimes to feel vulnerable, sometimes to kind of not be understood by many people, but you just know what you're doing. You just go on. Today the pressure is a lot more on artists to kind of conform, to kind of do this, to look at these forces, look at that forces, look at 1,000 people coming and telling you what you're doing is stupid. Okay, everybody's telling you. Now I'll give you a small thing which Madhu Mantana had put up yesterday. I think it's one of the most beautiful things that I have read. This is something very true for all of us artists, and it's quite beautiful. Why? Let us always remember that a truly creative mind, abnormally, even inhumanly sensitive. To them, a touch is a blow, a sound is a noise, a misfortune is a tragedy, a joy is ecstasy, and failure feels like death. Add to this the strange, unknown inward urgency to pour out creation, because they are not truly alive unless they are creating. It's such a beautiful thing for all artists. And that's all an artist is. Everything else just happens to that person. And for Guru Dutt, it didn't happen a lot of times. It didn't happen once.
देखिए relevance दो तरह से होती है. Either by overwhelming presence or by shocking absence. Like rain is relevant in Cherrapunji and in Sahara. When you think of Guru Dutt, forget his stories, dialogue, scenes. Try to capture him in few words, few adjectives. You will think decency, gentleness, understatement, humanity. If these words are relevant today because of their shocking absence, so Guru Dutt is relevant.